would like to take advantage of these 10 minutes to give you an example of some additional work that we are doing with grantees after they have finished their project. So I will ask Daniel Coloma, who is the CTO of DTL, to come and show you some additional work that they did in collaboration with Princeton. One of the grants that we gave in 2015 was for privacy meter. Went to Arvin Arayan and his team to develop this crawler, going and looking at 1 million websites every year. They delivered the crawling engine and the database and everything. And the last couple of months, Daniel, who I surprised here with his demo, he probably is going to hate me for this. Daniel, with Albert, that works in Telefonica, have been working on building, and Rafa as well, who is in the room, have been building on, working on building a user interface that is very intuitive for end users, that sits on top of the crawler and makes the data available to users. So I will ask Daniel if he manages to set up his computer on the projector to come and give you an idea of this kind of second step incubation work that we are doing with grantees that are willing to continue working with DTL to enhance further their work. And I just want to make the point here as well that it's essential that all the grants that are allocated end up minimally producing software and releasing it in terms of open source. We understand that not everyone can go all the way and continue incubating, but there needs to be software released. So from the first round of grants that we gave in 2015, this has already happened for 3 out of 6. We are still waiting for some of the other grantees to deliver the software. This year, we'll hope that the turnaround ratio will be higher, because in the end, this is what is fueling the whole effort. We need to be churning out more and better tools, and then with the help of DTL, getting more users and more impact. This is fundamental for the survivability of what we're doing.
Last year, we granted 6 grants. We had the vision in which we wanted to connect different stakeholders that were involved in privacy. We wanted to connect researchers. We wanted to connect developers. We wanted to connect that with end users. And we had that vision in which maybe we should just live that way, in which we wanted to connect the 3 of them. So we granted 6 grants to different universities, and we wanted to focus in 3 different tasks: sharing data, creating source code that can be used by third parties, and creating tools that can be used by end users. So as Nikos has said, during this year, we have produced some tools, and I would like to mention the 3 of them that I think are more powerful. So the first one is the Facebook data evaluation tool that has been developed by the University Carlos III from Madrid. Angel is there, is the main developer, the main researcher behind this tool, and I think Jose is sitting somewhere over there. This tool is really interesting. It's a plugin you can install in Chrome, and after installing it, it monitors everything you do in Facebook, especially the ads you see, the ads in which you click in, and based on that, it estimates how much money Facebook is making based on your activity, right? So I recommend you to install it. Go to the Chrome store, look for FDVT, Facebook Data Evaluation Tool. I forgot to mention that in our webpage, in the tool section, you can find all the links to all this information. So the best thing is going there, finding all these things, but I recommend you to go to the store and download this app. Second tool is Recon. It's Dave over there from Northeastern. This tool is similar to something we have seen today, but following a different approach, right? They try to detect also personal information leaks in mobile applications by inspecting the traffic in the network rather than the device. So, and I think it's different because it can be used in different scenarios. For instance, deploying this in the network operator, or for instance, in your router, so you can detect in your home network how much personal information is moving from your network, from your home, to the outside, right? So it's a different approach. And Recon allows the end users to take control about that. So with Recon, you can know if your location has been sent to a third party, and you can decide what to do with that. You can either decide to go ahead with it, or you can insert a fake location, or stop that from happening, right? The third tool I would like to talk about is Privacy Census from Princeton. I think Stephen was over there. This is really amazing, right? They are crawling 1 million websites, and they are analyzing what are the tracking techniques these websites are using. And they have published a big amount of data. And they have created this website in which you can check what they have discovered. But apart from that, they have released the source code. They have released the source code of OpenWPM, and this is what we have been using in the DTL to create something on top of that. Not only Princeton has released the code. Recon has also released some code. Abute, this is another project from Princeton, has released some code. So in our web page, you can check all this stuff, and you can go also to our GitHub page in which all these projects are forked. So you can have a look at what is going on. But we have also released datasets thanks to the grantees. So all the data that Princeton has gathered is public, so you can check at this website. Or for instance, from Recon, you can get the dataset they have been using based on the users they have. Not only that, for instance, from Recon, we created an API on top of the dataset. So people that are interested in creating something interactive on top of the dataset can use it. So for instance, you can create an Android application that inspects the apps you have already installed in your Android device, compares with the results of Recon, and it can inform you about potentially any of the apps you have installed in your device can potentially leak personal information to third parties. The last thing is what we have called the bonus. On top of that, the Data Transparency Lab, and I think Albert is over there. I don't know what is Rafa. No, Rafa is not here. Rafa and Albert has done an excellent job creating some tools on top of the assets that, thanks to the grantees, we have created. So I don't want to go there. You can find there the links to these two tools. They are in our GitHub, so you can check them online. The first one is leveraging on the Princeton project, and what we have done is building something more visual that shows to the end users to which degree fingerprinting is being used worldwide. So for instance, we can dictate how many websites, or what is the percentage of websites using fingerprinting, depending on the type of website. So for instance, if it's a news site, or if it's a site for adult content, you can check how big is the issue about fingerprinting, depending on these categories. Second one is for Recon, and what we have been doing is, on top of the dataset from Recon, is linking applications with third-party receiving domains. So you can interactively check what is the flow between applications and third-party sites, and checking what is the information that is moving from one side to the other one, right? And these are just some ideas, and the key point I would like to make is that all the assets that we develop thanks to the grantees can be used to build additional value on top of that, right? So this is my main aim, is trying to make sure that the work all these excellent people are doing can be reused, so the value that we are providing to the whole ecosystem can be bigger and bigger. And I think that's what's pretty much it.